of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. Joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. King James Stallcup, just ripping it up with some new graphics and some new show format for you. And dude, looks freaking awesome, man. I like it, man. And you know, like I say, everyone's trying to jump in here and comment. And who do we have trying to get you on the quiz this week?
He doesn't have a freaking chance. I've been kicking his ass lately. I own him.
Yeah? It's easy this week. It's super easy. I threw in a couple Cowboys ones, threw in a couple Broncos ones. Should be really easy. A little NFL record trivia.
See, I figured it out. You know what I did, don't you?
What's that?
I see your questions and then I change them so Daniel won't get them out.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm hoping that none of them stump you, but yeah, you know, we start a couple minutes late sometimes just make sure we got the podcast ready to rock and stuff. So welcome in, Gopher fan,
What
whoever you
are.
are.
We started at 7:01 and he's complaining. God.
So ridiculous.
It just goes to show. If it was Ryan, we know you were busy. Mike, we know you were busy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know you were busy.
Oh,
it's
man,
okay. Y'all could be another 10, 15 minutes late. I'd wait on you because I am your simp and I'm there for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, you know, like, I had a nice conversation with Chad and stuff, and he really wants to be on the show, but it's real been busy for him, you know, for Christmas and stuff, so... yeah, you know, it's cool. We got, you know, always got to have our haters up in the chat. It's cool. You know, everyone's welcome to, you know, ask questions and, you know, everything like that. And, you know, like I say, that's the way you are, Jeremy. You know, you're sitting there, oh, Ryan is right. Ryan is right. And it's like, all right, well, Ryan is right. So whatever, you know, and,
let's see. Well, let's see here. We'll have Chad on before you know it. Probably after the first of the year sometime. Yeah. We're also going to have a few others I've already lined up. Everybody's busy for the holidays and all that. Yeah. And I've got one that's going to be coming on. He's been around a long time. He was an instructor for NFPA. He also worked for NFPA. He worked for UL. Yeah, Jeremy, I know all these people, baby. And they're all friends of mine. They don't listen to somebody that comes out and calls all his union electrician brothers nothing but glorified ditch diggers. They don't hang around people that don't have any professionalism to them at all.
So you're going to make the claim that there's no union electricians in the whole state of
Texas?
You
said it last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
All y'all do, anybody watching the podcast, go watch it. You'll see it. This guy comes on here. All he wants to do is complain, argue. He's still butthurt about the live stream I did with him, and I dismantled him inside out. He's really butthurt about that.
Oh yeah, that was rough. So we have another one. So I did the audio with Ryan.
Hold on 1 second before we get into that. Right here, I've been making a lot of changes to the learning management system. I think y'all are going to be impressed by all the stuff that we've done. I mean, we've done a lot. And I'm going to be setting up. I've got my social media software, everything put in place. And I'm going to have everything where it's linking back and forth. It takes time to build all that stuff out. But we will have an illustration of the week, an article of the week. That will go on the site, plus it'll be post all the social media and everything. But if you want to be able to see everything we've done up to this point, you can just go to that site. You can just sign up for free. You don't have to buy nothing. But
sorry, I didn't mean to drop that. That's
fine.
That's the link up there. But like Weed Man was saying, where did he say all? Oh, he never said all Texas electricians. He never said all Texas journeymen. Wow, that's weird. Oh man. Well, must be just getting into the sauce there too much there, Jeremy, not remembering what you're talking about. So
all you got to do is go back, listen. But just ignore him. He's a nobody. He's just an internet loudmouth keyboard warrior is all he is.
100%.
And he's a little shill for Mike, Ryan, Paul, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
And even it's amazing. We just last week show where Ryan, we're going to show something else this week. Where Ryan last week literally stated that the 2023 NEC allowed you to use sheet metal screws for your grounding.
So there's only some union electricians that are glorified ditch diggers in Texas, huh? Only the ones in Texas?
Not. He said he calls out anybody, and he literally said the education standards are lesser in the state of Texas, and Minnesota rules everybody apparently.
Wow.
Because he's an instructor there. It's amazing. But that goes back to what I was saying. That is his elitist attitude and setting in the office, just like that podcast live stream he wanted to do, and I stated.
Oh, now all of a sudden they are? So you're dogging all the union electricians in Texas and not Minnesota. Wow, that's woof. Okay. Oh.
Just remember his name, everybody. It's not Gopher Fan 10. It's Jeremy Weed.
Yep.
Everybody calls him Weed Man. He's from Minnesota. He's an instructor up there for the union, and he bad talks anybody except for his butt buddies over there, Ryan, Mike, and all them trying to push their stuff. That's why he attacks us all the time. So he's a lapdog. He's doing what he's told.
Yeah. So what's really funny about this is, like, last week we showed where Ryan Jackson was saying that the whole entire code was wrong for all these cycles, and they just got on their super capes and fixed it for 2026. And anytime there's a hole in the code, they have to go out there and fix it. Well, that's not entirely true. And what's funny is this week we're covering a code change from 2023. And it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting change. They removed the requirement for... just to kind of go back, I know my apprentice wanted me to explain this to him, so I know there's other apprentices that want me to explain it to. So in 21052, it gives you a list of required receptacles. So those are receptacles that the inspector can require you to install, and they are required. And I remember this because we dealt with this at, it was like a 115 unit high rise we did, and every unit had a Peninsula receptacle. And they had to make sure that the countertop didn't overhang more than 12 inches so that cord didn't wrap around that overhang. And but it was a required receptacle. So it's a required receptacle that it's installed there, and it has to have less than a 12-inch overhang on the countertop so that the cord doesn't wrap around the countertop. Well, I guess they had this whole thing where they went to the consumer safety product standards, and they found out that there was injuries and fatalities from those cords getting pulled on to, like, infants and small kids and elderly people in wheelchairs and all this other stuff. Like, it just goes back to the whole fear-mongering thing. So I did a little bit of research and came up with there was no fatalities from this on the electric receptacle placement. What the problem was these stoves weren't anchored, and there was like boiling liquids on the stove, and the kids would open the oven door and stand on the oven door, and that's how the fatalities happened. So that was all 100% of the fatalities that happened. So I just kind of want to give everyone the upfront story that this had nothing to do with electrical. So the code making panel was hearing about this, that there were sometimes these cords were getting grabbed and that they were getting pulled onto kids and stuff like that. Kids were pulling them on themselves. I could imagine if it was like a deep fat fryer, that would be horrible. That would be horrendous, But that never happened. There was never one case. So, it's just real funny how these guys do this, and they kind of hold themselves to this really super high level. And, it's really funny because you get guys like Weed Man think they're like code experts, and you get guys like Ryan that call themselves code experts. You call Mike industry leader and everything, and then all of a sudden you find out he hasn't been doing it for 50 years. He claims he's been doing it for 50 years, but you do the research on Mike Holt Industries, started in 1988, and he's backdated everything to say he was an instructor in 1973 when he's a first-year apprentice. So that's fine. I mean, I don't care if these guys want to call themselves industry leaders. That's awesome. I'm totally fine with that. But just be honest about it and be straight up. And, you know, King James has been honest about all his credentials and everything the whole time. And so that's why we decided to do this podcast. And so what we're going to do, kind of a little bit different on this segment, I'm going to show the audio, and then King James is going to show two different illustrations. He's going to show his competition's illustration, and he's going to show his company's illustration to kind of show the difference. And what I think is really cool about it is you don't just use pictures. You actually draw all your own pictures, and you do like really detailed descriptions. So we'll go ahead and roll the audio, and you can put up whatever pictures you want while I'm rolling it, and just let me know when you want me to stop at any time.
Okay.
Notably absent is an allowance for receptacles to be installed below the countertop. Now again, this was the target of the change, with people holding cooking appliances down and suffering horrific injuries, and again, even deaths in some instances. I'm going to be very careful how I say this. This receptacle is a violation if it is a required receptacle for the purposes of a countertop. Can I put in receptacles that are optional? Yes. Could I put a receptacle down here that's not required by the code and put it underneath the countertop? Yes, I could. And I hate what I'm saying, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I like this code or hate this code. And newsflash, it doesn't matter whether you hate this code or love this code. The words in the book are what matters. If you're an inspector, you can't write a person up for this.
Okay, so this is what's really funny is he's saying, okay, the inspector cannot call you out for this. So there is one case where the inspector can call you out for this. You have to provide provisions to install one, which I think is kind of ridiculous, because that would mean that I need to put some kind of a raceway or some kind of a box or some kind of a something that if the inspector said, hey, where's your Peninsula receptacle? I'm like, well, I didn't put one, but here's a box that is has a chase nipple over to the panel or has a underground conduit to the panel, and somebody could put one in later if they want. Okay, well, that sounds really ridiculous, but that is literally the only requirement in the 2023.
Can I ask a question? Was this based on the 2023 change?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because they made some changes in the 2026 because apparently he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Yeah. So we'll show them changes, because we did cover where it's going to refer you to 210.50. Well, you look at it and you pick up 210.52.
You have to provide provisions, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's your island and peninsular countertops and workspaces. Yep. And it tells you that they added a word there, or two words, says receptacle outlets shall be installed in accordance with 52C3 and C4. And they added a whole new section there in C4 for receptacle outlet locations prohibited. So we'll go in and we'll look at C2, C2, C3, and C4.
Yeah, in the 2023, you could put one there, 100%.
So
if you want.
We'll go in. We'll explain all this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So all right, keep going.
This is an optional receptacle. It's not a required receptacle. All right. So if a person wants to put it there, they can. If you're an electrician, I'm going to tell you that putting a receptacle down there is a very bad idea. Number one, you're probably going to have a fight with the inspector, because the inspector might not read the code as closely as we have.
Okay, so what does that mean? I don't understand that. How are you reading the code? Like, well, how would you going to have a fight with the inspector? It's not required. I don't get that. That, to me, just blew me away. He just talked out both sides of his mouth. It's like, on one side, oh, you don't want to do it because, you know, like an inspector can't call you out for it. And then it says, oh yeah, if an inspector calls you out for it, you're gonna have a fight with them. What? I don't understand that. That was
Just the
bizarre.
way.
But much more importantly, you don't want to be the cause of a horrific injury. Um, I can tell you that I've acted as an expert witness in several court cases, and look, I don't live my life being worried about getting sued. That's just not how I couldn't sleep if I worried about getting sued all the time. But here's the thing: this is a much more common injury than one might think.
So the other thing I
Hold
wanted
on,
to
hold
say.
on a minute. Hold on. Is he saying he's not worried about getting sued as a special expert?
Well, he's basically just saying he's not. He just doesn't. Basically, no matter what, he doesn't worry about getting sued. But what I wanted to bring up was that he'll threaten you. He'll threaten other people and say they like, oh, I'm gonna sue you for So, but he doesn't worry about it That's so two-faced, But no, he's basically saying if you're a contractor and you install this and somebody gets injured, they're gonna get an attorney and they're gonna sue you, which is so ridiculous. So here we keep going.
And if a homeowner, has an injury to them or their loved ones, they're probably going to get an attorney and they're going to look at it and they're going to come after you. And you're going to have some really difficult questions to answer if you choose to install a non-required receptacle down there, knowing that the code probably didn't want you to put it down there, but you were able to comply by the skin of your teeth. I've been in law.
So then that's the other thing that's so funny too is, oh, now you were able to comply with what? With the thing that's not required? Like that's so stupid. Like what are you complying with? You're not allowed to use it as serve the countertop. And it's so funny because Weed Man wants to go in there and say like in the 2026 you can't, but it's like, dude, we're not even going to be on the 2026 until next July. And then there's permits getting pulled right now, so basically it won't even be like a whole entire year till we even see the 2026 in there. So I don't just ridiculous.
Well, I can tell you the inspectors here in Texas, since we're less educated, if you had a peninsula like that, we didn't allow you to put them below the countertop at all.
Right.
Period. And if you were going to have one on the countertop, you had to put one of those tombstone type. And most of the houses you go in now, they've got the newer homes. They used to have the one that sat on top. Now you got the one that you push and it pops up out of the counter.
So you're absolutely correct on that. What this is going off of is if you already have the pop-up one, are you allowed to put one down below too? Like an additional one?
No, we don't allow you to do that here.
Okay. All right.
They might have in Minnesota, but we didn't allow it in Texas. They're smarter than us because they got Jeremy and them up there.
Oh, man. I cannot believe that. He is just... now he's going to sit there and say, show me proof I call people less educated in Texas. And it's just...
what gets me, I'm less educated than him, but I've written publications. I've taught for NFPA. I've been to some of the biggest companies in the world, been special expert for some of the biggest attorney firms. I've been an expert for OSHA, but I'm less educated.
Man.
And that doesn't even include all the committees I've been on for different standards.
So I just think this whole thing is like ridiculous, is that nothing in the code says that you cannot put a receptacle there in the 2023 cycle. They're saying that it's been updated for 2026. I think that's what your graphic is there.
Yeah, well, what they did in this, and which I think is important, and they're talking about beneath the countertops and stuff, that you can't locate one within 24 inches. So if you want to go all the way down lower, you can, but there won't be one where you can plug a cord in. That's okay. What they're keeping from. And then they have, well, you can just read all the notes there and everything. I don't have to go through it all.
Yeah.
we put the notes in here. We showed you a graphic here showing you the requirements for the receptacle, and then we get into the base of it and all of that. So that helps everybody to see exactly what the change was in this. And as you can tell, it doesn't really show you anything. It's better to look at something that just has a picture of it.
Yeah.
According to Jeremy, of course.
Hey, oh. All right, we'll keep rolling here. It's almost over.
Remember, if you get sued as an electrician, it's not going to be a civil court. You're not going to go to jail. It's going to be, it's not going to be a criminal court. All right, it's not going to be a criminal court. It's going to be a civil court. So the question isn't going to be, did you comply with the NEC? They'll ask that. But they'll also ask, did you follow the best practices, the highest standard of care?
That is a load of crap right there. This makes me question if he's ever really done any special expert testimony, because they don't go off common practice. What they go off of is what the NEC and correlating standards state. You know, here you go, Jeremy. I'm going to give you something that actually happened, and we actually have the documentation for this. But I had to go back and find it. But we were in a court case. There was actually an attorney that was trying to say, because we wasn't electrical engineers, that we wasn't qualified to be a special expert. And the judge is sitting there looking at it, and he goes, well, they've written all these books. They teach for the people who actually write the code change book. They're on all these committees. How can you state that he's not a special expert? He goes, nah. He goes, we're going to allow his deposition to go in. Then you know what the attorney said? He literally told the judge, he goes, well, you know, Judge, he goes, when we depo him, said he's quoting sections and stuff so fast, we can't keep up with him. And the judge chastised him right there in front of everybody and said, don't you ever bring somebody into my court and say he's not qualified and then say, well, I can't keep up with it. And then, you know what the funny part was? We ended up doing work for that attorney after that.
And I'll actually bring up another one that you talked about in this podcast that I remember, where you actually went in and said that they had feeders too small that weren't sized, and they said that was a common practice, a common electrical practice for the state of Texas. And you said, all right, I want a letter from the engineer saying that's a common practice for electrical for the state of Texas. And if you're right, then, or if you're wrong, then they'll remove your freaking license for 5 years or whatever.
That happened. And then he didn't want it to go that way. And see, here's once again, Jeremy wants proof. You know, I want proof showing Ryan Jackson's actually been a special expert on case. Won't you ask him for proof? You know, it's like I'm trying to say, it's a double standard with him.
Yeah, he won't do it. He won't do it. This is almost over, but you'll love this last part. It gets really confusing. You're going to have to really kind of weed through it. But if you've been a special expert in court, this makes 0 sense at all. Listen to this.
And you're going to say, well, you know, I watched this YouTube video and this guy said, you know, the code says this, and I figured you could do it and it complies, even though it's obviously not the intent. You're going to have a difficult question to ask. And how is a jury going to react? I don't know. But I have seen a manufacturer get held accountable for providing a product that complied at the current, you know, where the appliance was installed, it complied, so it wasn't a violation. But there was a newer requirement that was applicable in other locations, and the manufacturer chose not to comply with those newer requirements because it was in a state that they hadn't adopted those requirements yet.
Oh, but stop. That is a lie.
100%.
That is, he is lying to everybody. I want everybody to listen to what he just said. You took and you installed an appliance that was up to code at the time, and then when a newer requirement come in, since the newer requirement came in and you installed it to the requirement at the time, you're now responsible. That is a lie. That would never hold in a court of law. He is. I'm gonna tell you, Ryan Jackson. You can listen to me. You're no expert. You're just a loudmouth on here that trying to have people believe you're some type of expert. To make that kind of statement, some of them you made, that is, I'm actually a real expert. I can tell you, being in a court of law, that does not happen.
Oh, 100%.
That
And
is,
it was so funny because if the code does not require it, how is the manufacturer going to be held liable?
he's
Like,
not.
oh, dude, it's ridiculous. But listen, even more.
Hold on 1 minute. I want to go a step further on that.
Okay.
If the manufacturer tells you to do something, and you got this is for all electricians out there watching this podcast. You need to listen to what I'm telling you. If the manufacturer tells you to do something, like he tells you not to put GFCI protection on something, and you as an inspector tell him he's got to put you have to put GFCI protection, this is what you need to do. I want a letter from the city stating that I have to put GFCI protection on it because the manufacturer's telling me I don't have to. You know what that inspector is going to do? He's going to say, go ahead and put it in. Because the manufacturer is the one responsible for that equipment and nobody else.
Yeah. And there's so many cases where we've shown in all these myths where the manufacturer provides personnel protection. Now, the reason that these code guys are mad about that is because that's not Class A, and it's so funny because guess what? Standards Council went, we don't care. We don't care if it's not Class A. It's suitable per the manufacturer, and they haven't had any technical merit to make any changes to the NEC, and they got the smackdown in 2026.
Sure
Thanks
did.
to my public input.
That exactly happened, and that's what makes upset about a lot of this is you've got Jeremy and all these other yahoos that are on these groups calling everybody names and all that. They're trying to push all this GFCI protection and all that. And my whole argument was at that time, well, if it's still required on AC units and everything, how is the Standards Council allowed to go in and pick and choose a piece of equipment not to put it on?
And the Standards Council overruled the
Yes,
NEC
they did.
and said the NEC did not show proof that they needed GFCI
No,
for that.
what they said was the code-making panel did not provide the technical merit, and the EVSC people did provide the technical merit. And Jeremy, guess whose podcast they transcribed to do it? Our podcast.
Boom.
That happened, brother.
Boom, baby.
And the reason is because we gave the rules and everything and tied it in with OSHA and all that, and they transcribed all that and said, here's what they're saying. We agree with this 100%. And then if you go back and look at the Standards Council, oh, lo and behold, what they say. When all else fails, what do you go back and look at, Jeremy? The product certification standard listing and labeling of the equipment.
Yeah. They were laughing at us, freaking saying exactly what you guys said, and it's not true.
This is funny. I want everybody to pay attention. He says they were laughing at us. Yeah, who was laughing at us was the what's his name, Dimitrovich, and all of them, because they're the ones that were wanting the GFCI protection. But who wasn't laughing? The people who transcribed our podcast and used it in front of the Standards Council. And it didn't seem like the Standards Council was laughing too much, Jeremy, because they agreed with what we said and what the EVSC people said, and it got rejected and tore down, brother. And that happened.
Sure as hell did. I'm just going to finish this out. I think it's got like a minute or something.
That manufacturer had answer some very difficult questions, and I can tell you they don't lose them. So, anyway,
they did not lose.
If I was an electrician, there is no way I would install a receptacle under the countertop. I would do what the code requires. I would provide one for future installation, and I would tell the homeowner, I will put in a pop-up receptacle, or I will leave. And if you, the homeowner, choose to put in a receptacle beneath the countertop, you're going to do whatever you're going to do, right? I can't stop you. So there you go. Again, you don't have to love this change or hate this change. You don't even have to agree with what I'm saying, but that's what the code says. There's been a lot of discussion and a lot of myths and quite frankly, a lot of misinformation that's been published. So I just wanted to kind of clear up the issue. So there you go. Love it, hate it, doesn't matter. That's 210.52. in the National Electrical Code.
All right, so this is them laughing at Ryan. The thing that's so dumb is that, he's sitting there saying, oh, well, this is a change in the code where they did this and you can't do this, but yeah, you can do it, but you can't do it, but you can do it. It's like, what are we supposed to believe? It's so ridiculous, And the thing is, that's so funny when, we got Weed Man coming in here saying, oh, yeah, they said there's no outlet. Yeah, that's 100% what they said.
That's right. That's what we've been trying to tell you. It's a termination.
They removed the word outlet from the language. They said it didn't need to be there. It didn't need to be substantiated. And then you're sitting there saying, oh, well, they didn't care. The manufacturer didn't care if there's an outlet or not. Oh, yeah? Why did they argue it then? Why did they win the appeal?
I'll take it a step further for y'all that don't follow the code and the process like we do. They actually went in and they actually made a change to the definition of an outlet to state what they said.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? They went in and put it right back to the same language.
Yeah. They tried. So for the first time in like 100 years, they tried to change the definition of outlet to make themselves right, to say it's at the point where the utilization equipment connects to the branch circuit, and they rejected it and sent it back. And who did it? Who's the reason they did it? Me and you, brother.
That's right.
That's why. But one of the things that I just want to, say, somebody came by
Broncos
the studio.
country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we should be talking about. Broncos country, baby. Let's ride, man. Best in the NFL, We'll see. I mean, we got the Patriots and the Broncos have a tough match against the Packers coming into Denver, so it's going to be tough. But we'll see. We'll see what happens,
All right, let's throw down the meme of the week.
Oh, the meme. All right.
Yep.
Dude, that is so true. That is like such a good point, though. Like when you look at like all the different things that we do, that we have to know. One of the things is like what happens to scrap wire? Like what's AI gonna be able to like? AI's probably just gonna throw it in the trash.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, yeah, come on there and sweep this floor too.
Yeah, whatever. But it's just really funny, and like Weed Man's over here just like losing his mind, and it's so dumb.
I want to answer this, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I did a live stream with you, and I wore you out. Yeah, all anybody has to do is go watch the audio, the live stream. It's on his channel. He can post it up, but he didn't post it on any of the groups.
That was like 5 views.
It was bad for him.
It was like 5 views because nobody wants to.
You know what's funny? He's
Ignorant.
saying, I want to debate senior. You think what I did to you was something? You don't want to even go down senior's lane. Matter of fact, I was talking to him about it tonight. We went and ate, and he goes, once I get to feeling better from this skin cancer and everything, he said, I'll go in there. He said, I feel sort of bad going on something like that and talking to somebody where I'm going to have to. He said, but the way this gentleman's acting, said he needs to. That's 5 gold stars for you, Daniel. That's the best comment we've had on this podcast so far. That's 5-star, no, 10-star review. That is freaking hilarious, brother.
Oh, man.
Hey, it doesn't even matter if I win the contest tonight. You're the winner. This is it. That right there won it for you. We need to make a meme out of this next week. That is the #1 comment we've had on here.
All right, you got a star from Stall Cup.
10 stars for that. And that was freaking awesome, brother. DJ,
Dude, you got
you
10,
kicked it tonight, baby.
You got 10 Dallas Stars losses.
Yeah, he would be okay with that, wouldn't he? Because they're like the top two in the NHL right now, aren't they? Colorado and Dallas.
Yeah,
they're like the top.
Yeah, we're up there
right now.
But
all right, let's go down the myth of the week. That made my whole night right there.
Where's the myth of the week, Willie?
Right now, Michael.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right, so we're
how does everybody like all the new? My camera not working right now. Oh, I guess because I got that bottom thing on is why it's doing it. Let me see if that pops off. That's weird. I've never seen myself go like that before. Let's hide it. Am I on now? Yeah, he put the ticker on it. Puts me on. Did you see that?
Yeah, you were.
I've never seen that before.
You were like froze up or something.
I froze.
That's weird.
But anyway, if y'all like all the new graphics and everything, let me know because I spent a lot of time on it.
Dude, it looks really cool, and I appreciate it. Wow, so this goes to the myth of the week. This is a guy installing like a receptacle. You can see that overhang. Actually, that guy is me, but it's a joke. It is actually my alt. But like you could tell that overhang's over 12 inches, or probably really close to 12 inches. And he made the comment that you're gonna have the crock pots falling off and stuff like that. But this, I guess is gonna be like a violation in 2026. To me, it's kind of weird. I kind of think the code's going the wrong direction a little bit. Like, I feel like they should provide guidance and not just like push this whole safety. Like, oh man, we think this is a safety problem, so we're gonna prohibit it. Because then what happens, James? Guys go and they, don't pull circuits over there, don't do anything. Then they have to hire somebody else, and then they come in later after it's already passed inspection, and then they put it in anyway. So it's not preventing the accidents that they're trying to say happen. Honestly, if there's like cords that are getting pulled on and equipment that's getting pulled off that counter, I would say there's a lot of other issues going on there. That's what I'm gonna say. Honestly, my position. This actually happened to me one time. I was actually sitting at like one of these breakfast bars, and I kind of like reached my arm over and I hit the cord, and it pulled like a fryer, and there was some like hot grease that kind of like flew up on me, but it wasn't like I died from it. It wasn't like I went to the hospital, but I realized I was like, oh man, I gotta be more careful, it was I'm an adult. Like, yeah, if this is happening to kids, and yeah, I agree, but it just goes this whole fear-mongering thing with the NEC, and it's just like people can't have nice things, and so this week's myth of the week is true or false. The NEC prohibits the installation of receptacles in Peninsulas in 2023 NEC, and the answer is false. They do not prohibit it. Now, I guess they're going to be prohibiting it in the 2026. King James could have a local amendment over there.
When you look at this, these are what was in the code right here. Okay. So
for the 2023.
Yeah, but what I want everybody to see. Let me pull this back up if I still got it. I'm gonna have to give me 1 second because. Oh wait, no, I do got it. Go here. this is why I put the 2024 in here, was for this reason, and it's right here. So this is in the 2026, and now it is prohibited.
Okay.
Okay, and that's why I wanted everybody to see the illustration and everything, and I'll basically just read the notes in there, but you can see how we drew the different receptacles and stuff there, and then talked about where you had a countertop drawer, you could have a receptacle in there, but all of these are set up here and the items that they did, and this is a brand new added subsection that was added. Well, actually, this is a subdivision. They added a subdivision here of C4, and they made a little bit of change to C2 and C3, but the changes they made there, it was based on what they did in C4.
Nice. And the thing is that what's so awesome about the myth of the week is that Daniel just destroys Weedman and then he just disappears. He's just gone. Like, he just vanishes off the planet because now he's going to have to call so many AI bots glorified ditch diggers, man. That was, dude, you won the internet with that one, Daniel.
You did.
But like I say, this myth was really busted. I honestly think that there's a lot of stuff that the code does that is not beneficial for safety. I feel like if people want a receptacle there, they're going to put a receptacle there. They don't care how unsafe it is or not. And the thing is that's frustrating with that is that we need to work harder to be like, well, you know, it's safe if you put it like just like kind of what they're doing, like below 24 inches or whatever, like lower than 24 inches or whatever. But to me, honestly, I think that's even worse because like when I sat at this breakfast bar, it was like I kind of hit the cord with my knee, you know, because like my knee was kind of close to it. And it kind of like tugged on the whole. There was like a fryer up there, or it was like a skillet, and they were all cooking breakfast and everything. Mm-hmm. And that skillet kind of slid towards me, you know. So it just threw a whole bunch of grease on me, you know. And it was weird because it was like I would have never thought about that, but like, you know, looking at this and everything, like just to not have a receptacle there, like maybe a pop up, yeah, that would have been fine. But at the same time, like if the pop-up was too expensive or whatever, then they're just not required to put a receptacle there or don't put a receptacle there. Like where are they plugging that in at? I mean, yeah, maybe you're not cooking food right in front of your guests at the breakfast bar. Like maybe that could have been the problem that happened, you know. But, you know, at least I don't have to be a liar and go and, you know, pretend like I...
Sure enough.
Yeah, but... That was so funny, man. Daniel got me, man. That was a good one.
All right, let's roll topic of the week.
All right.
Y'all are going to like what's going to happen for quite a long time.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Here we go.
One thing we forgot to do is we forgot to do Daniel J's Thursday night prediction. We have the Atlanta Falcons playing the Buccaneers. So
I'll take the Buccaneers.
I think I'm gonna have to take the Bucks. Daniel could take the Falcons for the upset, but I don't know. I don't know what Daniel's gonna do, but we'll see.
What I decided to do here is I'll do like 5, 6, 7 a week, going through the new code changes, showing you the illustrations and everything that we've updated, and everybody will get to see just what all these illustrations are going to look like.
Nice.
Okay, and y'all will know that when we started this earlier in the year, we were sort of going over the 2026 and how they voted and went through all that week after week. And it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to sort of see it and the way that they put everything together. And the first change that we had was 90.3, and this is where they did a code arrangement here. But basically, the change that was made is to clarify that Chapter 8 is no longer an independent chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. So doing this reorganization with Chapter 8 that cover communications systems, that's what all the articles were there. And they wanted to explain that that Chapter 8 is no longer independent from Chapters 1 through 7. Okay?
Yeah, and just to explain to everybody, this was kind of cool for me to explain to like my apprentice, because what you have is whenever you have like a code cycle go through, you have like the public comment stage, or you have the public input stage, then it goes to the public comment stage, then it goes to the first draft, then the second draft, then once the second draft is done, it goes to the NITMAM or the CAMS, and then it goes to the Standards Council if they have to like reject anything stupid that the code making panels put in. But that's kind of how the code making process works. So this was like really the first time that I experienced it with you, James, and I thought it was really cool that we went through it every single step of the way. And that's kind of where this goes. Whenever they have like a public input, people want to like make it better. So
yeah,
I just kind of want to explain that, how it goes through the whole process, like to get to this point, you know?
Yeah, one of the things I want to point out, because it sort of correlates with all of this, and this change doesn't really show it, okay? But you're going to see a lot of Chapter 7 and 8 tied together now.
Right.
And that's why we're going to take, and it won't be out till probably 2027, but we're going to have a new publication that deals with limited energy systems. And
nice.
This is going to be a publication that's needed by the industry because of all the changes that were made in Chapter 7 and 8. Because Dad and I are veterans at the code and knowing where things are arranged and all that. And we had to spend time figuring out where they moved all the crap. So
yeah,
I'm making everybody aware of this. And this change doesn't look like much here, but it had a big impact of what took place in Chapter 7 and 8.
So basically, like this interpretation of what the way I'm taking this is you're going to have high voltage, you're going to have limited energy, and you're going to have everything else.
Sure you are. Matter of fact, one of the things that you're really going to notice when you start getting into this is they made changes before where they dealt with Article 725. Then the last cycle they did Article 724 and just put Class 1 power limited circuits there and Class 1 power limited remote control and signaling circuits. So they made that one. Then they also had added in the last one Article 726 where we dealt with our Class 4 fault managed power systems.
True.
And then this one, they've added some stuff here. They added Article 742, which is over voltage protection for limited energy systems.
Right.
And then they added the grounding and bonding for limited energy systems. And when you get in and you start looking at the grounding and bonding, you're going to start seeing a lot of stuff in there. And this is all going to tie in together. And that's why it's very, very important to know, because stuff that was in Chapter 8, like where you're dealing with grounding and bonding, or your interruption of your non-current carrying metal sheet members, you're going to look in there and you're going to see they're going to have one in A that deals with communication cables. And then they're going to deal with B, which deals with a conductive shield of your coaxial cables. So, and then you get into C, and that's where you get in your network powered broadband communication cables. So
Right.
that's why I'm trying to tell everybody a lot of stuff that was in chapter 8 has moved over into chapter 7 now.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's kind of frustrating for you guys because, like, typically, like, when we're dealing with this out in the field, we just want everyone to be on the same page. And for them to just be like, oh, we want this over here now, and we want this over here now. It's like, dude, nobody's going to be on the same page if you do that. So
Yep.
it's
And
just, it's frustrating.
well, that's why we're going to have, and it'll be the design series, and we'll have systems under 1,000 volts, systems over 1,000 volts, and then limited energy systems.
So I will not be purchasing the systems over 1,000 volt because I will never deal with that in my whole entire career until the day I die. It's just so stupid. Like, I don't understand why they have to break it out like that because the code was designed basically. If it applies, cool. If it doesn't, cool. But for them to clone a whole section, like, I love the way you guys did it. Like, it is so awesome for you to make 2 separate publications. That's awesome. But they're exactly the same mirror image on both sides of it, and so I'll just buy the under 1,000 volt, and then if I have over 1,000 volt, I'll just go look at that section under 1,000 volt. It'll be the same.
Well, I'll say this: one of the things that I'm gonna have set up on the learning management system, like I already have now, is I'll have a monthly where you can go in there and just monthly see what you want to see and have access to every book instead of having to purchase them all. So it'll save you probably about 50-60% doing an online version where you have access monthly, and a lot of people ask for that, so we're going to do that.
Nice.
All right, then they did one here. Now this is one of my favorite ones, and I'm going to explain why this is. Okay, and the reason I want to explain this is because of something that I was told by Code Making Panel 2 when it dealt with an individual branch circuit. Okay, so when you look at an appliance, now what they did is they made a change here, and this is just to clarify that your existing items that were there that were in the full code text could be viewed as all inclusive and unintentionally omitted for other types of appliances. Okay, so what they did, they went in. Now this is great. I want everybody to listen to this. Now, when I made this code change, Bill knows this one. I put in there, I gave all the locations for where an outlet could be that they could pick and make a choice that was told to us by the ECD boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rejected. And you know why? Because they said you can't take and put items in a list. Well, lo and behold, right here, the new definition for appliance in the informational note, guess what they did? It says example of appliances are what? Clothes dryers, air conditioner, food mixers, and deep fryers. Oh, wait, I thought you couldn't put a list and give an example of where that location is.
Yeah.
So once again, like I try to say, you get certain code making panels on there and they're going to use certain rules because they don't want to have to answer and explain themselves.
Well, and that's a good point because I brought up the point where, like, you have this individual branch circuit, and what do we always do? We put it in a duplex receptacle.
Yep.
Because that's the easiest way to do. That's actually a code violation.
Yeah.
It's only supposed to, it's supposed to have a single receptacle because you're only serving one piece of utilization equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, wow, they gave special permission in whatever cycle to use a duplex. Really?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's only serving one piece of utilization equipment. Well, what do you have plugged in? One piece of utilization equipment? Like, let's just say like a washer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, one piece of utilization equipment plugged in. Now, you could plug in a hair dryer and do your hair while you're washing your clothes, and that's a violation.
Exactly.
So,
I love going through all these because it goes in and just shows, you know, it's like I always like to say there's one rule for us and another rule for y'all.
Yeah.
So now what they did here is they made a revision here. Okay. And what this revision is for is to help clarify when you're dealing with the term equipment bonding jumper.
Right.
Okay. And what they wanted to do here is that is your preferred term. But there is also another alternate term you could use here, which would be equipment bonding conductor.
Wasn't this like a really heated one?
Well, a little bit, but to me, I agree with this. And I'm going to tell you why they did a lot of this stuff here.
Okay.
Is because an equipment bonding jumper is no different than an equipment bonding conductor. You're just bonding everything in, and you bond the bonding conductor or the bonding jumper. It's going to be size the same.
True.
So they just made a clarification on that one, and then they did the same when you get over here and you start looking at grounding electroconductor. What they wanted to do here was make absolutely sure that when we look at a grounding electroconductor, they're trying to point out here that you have a new definition, and what they're doing is clarifying what the difference is between a bonding conductor and a grounding electroconductor. Even though you're still bonding everything in, and you're still going to size it the same. So what we did in this illustration, to give you an example, and you're going to see tons of sections here. Okay.
Nice.
So we show concrete encased electrode, structural steel, got your driven rod, metal water pipe, ground ring, blah, blah, blah. But when you're sizing all of that, if you still look, your grounding electrode bonding conductor that's bonding all of those over to this bus bar here, that's going to be the bonding conductor. Actually, the grounding electroconductor is what's coming to where? It's coming to the bus bar.
Well, it's going to be like 1 point. I was going to say 1 point is my answer.
But if you look at that, you're still sizing them the same. Now, the only difference is here is whichever one of these produces the largest conductor, that's the size the grounding electroconductor needs to be.
True.
Okay.
And the thing that's funny is you've actually brought that up at like all the way back to like 78, 81. I don't remember all the arguments, but it goes to being the sole conductor.
Sure. And this is why, like I said, this is a really good illustration. But we even tell you, guess what? You need, if you're dealing with systems over 1,000 volts, you need to go look at new Article 270. I will tell you right now, go look and see if any of the others publications tell you to go look at that, if they even did this change.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that you really look at when you start getting into this. And then they did the same thing here where you've got an impedance here. And they come in and they clarified here with a new definition, calling it the impedance bonding jumper. Okay.
Right.
And what we did here is there's two types here that you're going to look at. If you look on the left-hand side where we're showing the panel board, you'll see we're showing you how to size the grounding electroconductor, and we were just going to a metal water pipe. And we show you the size of the grounded conductor. We did all the work here and showed what size the ungrounded phase conductors are. And we show you, looking at these ungrounded phase conductors, the sections to look at if it's 1,000 volts or less, and then we got it showing you where it's over 1,000 volts. And then we tell you to go review Table 251.22 and also Table 251.02C1, because you got to look at both those in order to make this decision. And then we give you the whole grounding loop to drop down through all this and look. And then we show you right here, where is the impedance bonding jumper? This is where it's coming over, and we drew you a digital type impedance device here where you're coming in, hitting it, and then going over and hitting a ground rod.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I will tell you, go look at all these other publications, see if they show you this stuff.
Yeah, and one thing that you're gonna have to verify when you have that impedance grounding is that you have a accurate CT that
Oh
is,
yeah, of course.
because we actually ran into that before where it wasn't an accurate CT giving an accurate reading, and like they were like, dude, this thing could be sitting here melting on fire and we would never know.
Sure. And they did the same thing here. They got the term, the preferred term, when you're doing this is a main bonding conductor, but also there's term main bonding jumper too.
Right.
So they're telling you here, and we drew all these different ones here, showing you all the different conductors and everything, how to go about looking at all the different sections. And we even talk about the main bonding jumper. I mean, we go through all of this right here, but there's a lot of notes in here.
Yeah.
And the reason there's a lot of notes in here because there's certain things we want you to go see. If you're dealing with grounding and bonding, then you're going to look at Article 260, or I'm sorry, 270. And if you're looking at services, you're going to look at Article 268. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and one thing I like, and just to kind of give a little simple plug to you guys, is you guys always have like these code loops in there. So there's all these code references in there that you have to refer to for all these different sections, and that's what I really express to the apprentices that's going to help you get better. Is you look at all these different references. You don't just look at the one reference that gives you the answer. You know, because like my apprentice is like, oh, hey, that's the answer, right? And I'm like, well, did you look at all the rest of them? Well, no. Do I have to? It's like, well, yeah, you have to see how it, you have to basically compare it. It's like, we're dart throwers. Like,
sure.
what are we trying to do? We're trying to limit overvoltage. So how are we going to do that? We have to like use a little bit of every single one of those references to get our dart in the bullseye,
Sure. And we did a little extra here to have you think about a couple of things. Say I'm looking at sizing the equipment grounding conductor and I've got it going over and I supplied an older building that was over there and I took a grounded neutral conductor over there. And the equipment grounding conductor and the neutral conductor per 25032B2 was being used the same. Well, you need to look at 120.61 and determine which one is the largest size in table 25122. So you'll notice that we even give them sections there, something else that you need to think about.
Oh, am I playing Weed Man? Oh my God! You can't do that! So, all right, I was playing Weed Man for a minute.
Well, and that's why we put a lot of time when we're looking at doing all this stuff, because there's a lot of information that took place here, and especially like this. And I've got a separately derived system here. All right, so I'm setting up a system bonding jumper. All right, now if I'm setting this up, where they did the term system bonding jumper is the preferred term, but you also have another alternate term you could use, system bonding jumper. But when you look at this and you're setting all of this up and everything, here's all the sections. We're going to look at 250.30 when we're dealing with this. Now, look up at note 2. We say, something else that you need to think about is when you're dealing with the grounding and bonding and your system's over 1,000 volts, you need to go look at 270.30 A and B. And that's where you're going to pick up the same type of requirements pretty much.
So I have a good one on this. I actually ran into this before. Inspector was saying I needed to do something. So let's just say you have that building steel that you're going to for your cellularized system. Let's just say there's a cold water pipe that's serving that area that's on that building steel. Do you have to bond that too?
Yeah, you bond any water pipe that's within the area.
I like it.
It doesn't say how far, but most people consider that, within the same room, same area.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a good thing for you guys to keep in mind. Like, just because it doesn't show a water pipe doesn't mean you don't bond it.
Yeah, and I'll give you another one. Now, this happened to me God, this was 30 years ago. I know it had to be close to that.
Okay.
But I was doing a class in Memphis, Tennessee, and we were there, and it was actually the inspectors in the state that had me come in, and they had electricians there. Where I think we had over 150 people that attended this,
Okay.
and the reason they were having a problem in the state back then, and the code didn't. This is before 250.30 was in there.
Okay.
And we had separate drive systems, but when you used to look at the requirements that were there, they gave you three options. They gave you a cold water pipe, building steel, or driven rod. Now, what their problem was, they had some historical buildings and stuff there that they didn't have steel in, and of course, you have to hit the cold water pipe within 5 foot of where it enters the building, and you're not going to go all the way down 3, 4 floors and pick up a ground rod. So, and they had them. They were wanting to put a transformer on every floor because it was a pretty good sized building, and so they asked me, "What can we do?" And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I understood where they were going with. I said, well, what I would do, and this was just at the time, I said I would take and have a bus bar, and I said maybe 2 inch by 4 inch, and I would run that up, and I would tap off of that each floor and take that straight down and tie it at one point location, or I would take at least a 3/0 conductor and run it up, and then I'd CAD weld it up on each floor with a plate, and then put some strain relief on it, and then I would make my connection there. Now that actually happened, and then later in the code, it was probably about 2-3 cycles later, they started adding that, and one of the guys that added it had got on the panel, and he added it based on the information and the way I told him to do it back then. That actually happened. If my mom was here, she would tell you that happened because she was there at the class when I did it.
Well, I mean, there's not anybody in here that is doubting you at all.
Jeremy.
You know? Oh, what proof?
Yeah.
Oh, what proof? Oh,
you know,
proof?
it's interesting because, you know,
proof?
I'm sitting there going something, and then I can just tell you a quick story.
I mean, how many
it's
times
not
you have
something
to
that
say
somebody
the
just
same
makes
thing?
up. I'm giving you details of where I was, what happened, and what we did.
Like, how many times you have to say the same thing? Like,
proof.
like serious. That's ridiculous, man. I mean, dude, this is actually the comment of the night. That's so awesome. Oh, dude, Daniel wins tonight. Yeah, dude, that is so awesome. Like, that was so hilarious, Daniel. But should we go to the Willie quiz?
So you want to do tool of the week real quick? Get it out.
Oh yeah, we can knock it out. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by the Christian's Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
All right, so this is really awesome. I love to promote tools that I use every day, and this is one of the ones that I actually do not have in my toolbox, but there was a company that I worked with, and they required their apprentices to have a square in their tools. It was in their tool list. So this is when I learned that I need to have a square in my tool bag. And this helps you get like square cuts on your strut, square cuts on all kinds of things. There's so many things you could use it for. You could use it for conduit bending. You could use it for so many things. Everyone knows I use the Pythagorean theorem, especially Daniel. But the thing is that's so funny is there's so many things you could use this square for. And it's always nice to have a square in there. Actually, there's different things that they have, like with the measurements, with like all thread and different things that I don't even know why they have like different corrugated things in there. or anything like that. But the thing I do know is that if you use a square and you cut right perfect on your mark, you're not going to have a crooked cut. So that's why I really like using a square. It's going to give you a perfect 45-degree angle. A lot of times we have to do like the miter cuts, and King James knows about this. There's times where I had to like hang this transformer, and they're like, use unistrut mounting brackets, and I'm like, what? I was like, unistrut mounting brackets? I was like, where did I get those? They're like, oh, you make them. Okay, well, guess what? I had to use the Klein Tools square to make these unistrut mounting brackets and make it all on the wall, and I had to support 870 pounds, and guess what? That's been up there hanging for about 10 years, and it still hasn't fall. So, you know, I must have done something right, must know a little bit about something, but, you know, the thing is, like, that's the only way I would have known, like, the exact length to cut, like, my miter cut to where I put a 45-degree on there to come up and brace the transformer, and then I hung it off building steel, and just a really good tool for you guys to have in your arsenal is the Klein Tools square. I really like it. It has a lot of upgraded features. It has so many upgraded features, I don't even know what they are. So, you know, that's how awesome it is. It's so awesome, I don't even know what it is. So, I know that a square is where you're doing your cuts and you're using the angle, the Pythagorean theorem to make your cuts.
All right.
We'll recommend to others.
Do you want the new Willie Quiz video intro or your old one?
Do what you want, brother.
I like see the new one.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. If you don't like it, we'll go back to the next one.
All right.
You are now entering the zone of the Willie Quiz. Enter at your own risk.
So, the one thing I always screw up with the Willie Quiz, I don't get the drum roll in. Alright? Alright, got it in. Alright. So, it's in the sounds. Alright, so, question number one. This is going to be easy. You're going to love this. In the 2025 season, Jalen Hurts became the first player in NFL history to blank A, throw a touchdown, catch a pass, and run for another TD in the same game. B, commit 2 turnovers in the same play. C, kick a field goal after playing quarterback. D, become the first QB to rush for more yards than he passed for in a game. Or E, become the first QB to have more turnovers than the opposing QB. Good luck, everyone.
Well, being this year, I actually know this one, and it's B. He actually committed 2 turnovers on the same play.
Can you believe he's the first quarterback in NFL history to throw an interception, recover a fumble, and then fumble it again? Oh my goodness.
They were talking about that after the game.
Oh man, you guys are right. I told you it was easy. Told you it was easy, man. All right, 2 correct answers. First question. Question number 2. Which NFL team once won a game without achieving a single first down in the second half? Was it A, Washington? Was it C, the Bears? Was it C, Cleveland Browns? Was it D, New England Patriots? Was it E, New York Jets? Good luck, everyone.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. They were doing sports trivia, and they actually asked us. I got it wrong. And if I remember, God, I'm trying to remember, but it was like in the 1920s or 30s. And
No, wrong.
that's not it?
Well, it was back in the day, but
It was a while back. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it was the Chicago Bears. I think that's right. I'll go Chicago.
All right, so Daniel is going A.
I got it wrong.
He's saying Washington. Oh, well, when you look at it, like you're right, it does go back. I think it was in the 40s.
The 40s. I remember it was way back.
Yeah, it was in the 40s. Yeah. So I mean, were the Washington Redskins even a team back then?
I don't think they were.
I
was when I was looking at it, it was between the Bears and Browns because I was thinking they were, and maybe the Jets as older organizations.
Daniel is correct. It was the Washington Redskins.
Really?
Yeah, they go all the way back that far. I didn't know that. Like,
I didn't either.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Okay.
All right, so we got 1-1 going so far. All right, in 2025, the Denver Broncos scored 33 points in the fourth quarter to win 33-32. What historic statistic did they end? A, first team to win after being shut out in the first 3 quarters. B, first team since 1992 to overcome an 18-point deficit in under 7 minutes left. C, longest gap between 30-point comebacks. D, first 33-point quarter in NFL history. Or E, most yards gained in 7 minutes. Good luck, everyone. You know, the thing that I love about this is I could tell when I stump you guys.
Well,
because I could tell when you guys are like, I don't know, I'm not going to answer yet.
when I first thought about this, when I saw the question, you know what my first thought was?
Broncos are the best team in the NFL?
No, didn't ever drive that they did in under that 7 minutes. That every drive they did was under less than a minute.
Yeah.
I think that is correct. If I'm not, that's what I was thinking. But then I looked at it. I was like, with 7 minutes left, more than likely it's B. That's what I'm going to go with. But I'll go with B. E's also another one I was thinking. But I know they did it all in under a minute every drive. I mean, it was freaking incredible.
Yeah, the yards were close, but it sounds like you were gonna copy Daniel.
Oh, he went B2. Okay.
You're gonna copy Daniel, so hopefully. We have a tie tonight, so awesome. Thanks, Daniel, for showing up and challenging King James, because he is not the NFL know-it-all that he thinks he is sometimes. Especially not the college. Like, we both got it wrong. Like, his Texas team got knocked out, and my Notre Dame team got knocked out. So our college prospects are over. Yeah, I'm like, bullshit.
Did you see that Georgia? They just canceled Louisville.
Really?
Yeah, these teams are going to start canceling games, and man, I mean, the committee, they run college football, I think.
Well, was it Georgia Tech?
No, they'll still play Georgia Tech, I think.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, well, who
Oh,
canceled?
no, it was Georgia that canceled Louisville.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah. So question number 4, who holds the all-time NFL record for the most career turnovers, interceptions, and fumbles lost? Is it A, Drew Brees, B, Brett Favre, C, Peyton Manning, D, Phillip Rivers on my fantasy team, just got him tonight, or E, John Elway? Good luck, everyone. Dude, can you believe Phillip Rivers is coming back to football after... dude, he hasn't played in 5 years. The last time he played was 2020.
Well, those were my two, but I think Brett Favre had more turnovers than anybody. I think Phillip Rivers is second.
So you just basically copied Daniel.
He
this
went
whole
college.
time. Oh, man. All right, let's see if you guys are right. Boom! We have a tie game tonight, and I cannot wait to break out the tiebreaker if you guys seem to tie. After question number 5, what unusual single game record is held by former Packers cornerback Terrell Buckley? A, most passes defended without showing a completion, without allowing a completion. B, longest interception returned without scoring a touchdown. C, most combined penalty yards by a single defender. D, most fumbles forced on special teams in one game. Or E, most sacks, forced fumbles, and interceptions by a single player. Good luck, everyone.
Man, I had no freaking clue. I'm going process of elimination right now. So
That's a good one. I mean, this was a really hard one. Like, when I saw it, I was like, all right, so this is the way I break the tiebreaker.
well, I'll be honest, I really don't have no clue.
Ooh, most fumbles forced by, on special teams in one game. Oh, that's what Daniel's going with, dude. Ooh, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Like, I think Daniel's on, like, the Google train, so maybe you should copy him. But, I don't know, maybe...
I'll go with E.
E.
Yeah, I have no
Most
clue.
sacks, forced fumbles. Oh, man. Oh man, whew, this is a good one. So we have a tie, right? Right. So
No, he's up one.
he's up. All right. The answer is B. Longest interception return without scoring a touchdown. He went 97 yards and didn't score, or 94 yards. I don't know. I can't remember. It was over 90 yards and didn't score a touchdown. He
Damn.
intercepted it, didn't score a touchdown, and his team didn't score a touchdown either. So that's why it was a record. And it was really cool to not have to do the tiebreaker, but just to kind of go into the tiebreaker a little bit. So the Seattle Seahawks shut out the Minnesota Vikings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Minnesota Vikings went to the Commanders and they shut them out. So when was the last time that was done where a team shut out another team and then they went to another team and shut them out? When was the last time that was done? What year?
So the last time a team was shut out.
Yeah, a team was shut out, then went to the next team and shut them out. When was the last time that was done in the NFL?
I'm thinking on this for a second.
So like the
Last
Seahawks,
time.
the Seahawks shut out the Vikings. Then the Vikings got shut out by the Seahawks. Then went to the Commanders and then shut out the Commanders. When is the last time that's been done?
I was trying to think.
And as you're thinking, I'm gonna be doing the pickle shot. Poor Adam. Love you, Adam. Adam's the man. Dude, Adam, go check out Team SOS channel. He has the best channel on YouTube. So awesome. Adam's the man. Pickle shot for Adam.
Now, the last time I remember, didn't Washington play like the 49ers and get shut out?
Yeah. What year was that? But what I'm saying is,
That was like 5-6 years ago. But I don't remember if they shut another team out after that. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of somebody. I know around that same time, I think didn't Tennessee there back in didn't they shut Denver out one time too?
Yeah, they did.
I sort of remember that, but I don't remember the next week. That's all I can remember. Everything else.
So
I'll go with Washington and Tennessee. I guess I don't know.
Well, no, you're supposed to say like what year. When was the last year it happened? So it just happened. Like it happened where Seattle shut out Minnesota. Then Minnesota went and shut out Washington. And when was the last time that happened before then?
I'll say 2019.
All right. So, like,
I have no clue. I'm just guessing.
yeah, I want to say it was like 1992, but
That's probably right. I'm just.
like I'm gonna try it. I don't think it'll probably even be wrong. Let me see.
Do.
All right, so let's see.
Daniel's not even guessing. If I had a clue either.
Let me see. Yep, 1995. I was right. So it never happened where a team shut out a team, and then that team went to shut out another team since 1995.
Okay.
So that's crazy. And I'm working at DIA. That's when DIA was built. So
Yeah.
I guarantee I have some.
Trivia.
I have some 1995 dirt on me today. But
All right. Well, let me start the next one with a new segment showing the illustration of the week. And these I'll be adding on the groups and stuff for everybody to look at. But this one where we show the class 1 location and tying this in where you got a gas station and everything, showing all the pumps, the boundaries, and all of that, showing the dispenser and island, what the requirements are there. And we even tell you when they're designing all this stuff, you need to go look at ANSI 87 if you want any additional information. But as you go in and you look at this, we also talk about the fill pipe that's away from it, whether it's a loose connection or a tight connection, what the distances are. We get in, we even talk about what the class 1 division 2 is, where you got your vent pipes where they discharge down. And we even drew what the vent pipe looks like, the top of it. That's exactly what that looks like. And then we show the dispensers and the islands and everything and talk about the distance away and then it being 18 inches up. Then we show you what the distance is from the island itself. And we just go through. It's just a really good illustration, just showing you all the requirements and everything and how you go about making these assumptions and everything. If you're not 20 foot away, you could see up at the top where we show you're not 20 foot away, and then how that 18 inches all of a sudden becomes part of being 18 inches up to the building.
True. And I really like how you do this, tie it in, because this has had a lot of questions in a lot of groups, and it's really cool. There's a lot of misconceptions here. And so you just you have all that code loop in there. That's just really awesome. Just throw in the full code loop, and there's no misconceptions there. There's no misunderstanding the stall cups.
Well, one of the things, and that's why I like showing these illustrations and everything, so everybody can see basically when you go on our site what you have access to. So, and then the other thing I did was the article of the week, and this is over on the site I provided in the comment stage when all of this starts off. And all you need to do, if you go over here to the link, takes you to the blog page and everything. All of this is set up on there. It looks real nice. It's all categorized for you. But what we did here, this is showing sizing the overcurrent protection device for a transformer in a supervised location. So basically what we have here is we're going to size the primary side for a 2000 kVA transformer, which has a 3-phase supply of 12,470 volts in a supervised location. And then all you want to do in step 1 is just get the amperage, the full load current of the transformer. So you take 2000 kVA times 1,000, that puts it in VA, and divide it by your voltage, which is 3-phase. So you have to take it at 1.732. That'll give you 92.6 amps. Then you go over and then you're going to look at table 450.3A. And when you look at a supervised location, I didn't give no impedance or anything on here. So it's going to tell you take it at 300%, gives you 277.8 amps. Now, one of the things is you're going to see in there, it's going to have a note 1. And when you go look at note 1 and it's talking about sizing the overcurrent protection device, you have the option here. You could go up to a 300 amp or you could drop down to a 250 amp.
Oh, what, you hack?
Yeah, and if you look, we put in here the note, the overcurrent protection device is based on individual primary protection. Using a 300% rating permits rounding up to the next standard rating when the overcurrent device rating doesn't correspond to the standard size. So we tell you it permits because you have the option there, And that's what the option's telling you in note 1.
True.
Okay?
100%. I like
So,
that.
Though that's our little illustration of the week and article of the week, and we'll be adding those as one of our new 2 segments.
Nice.
And I'll have something really slick looking for everybody every week.
There's one thing you missed.
What's that?
You lost to Daniel tonight. Oh, boom.
Doesn't matter. He wins anyway with that comment.
Yeah. Oh,
10
dude.
stars.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you already gave him the win, man. That was hilarious. Like, Daniel got it. All right, so we'll move over to the
Man versus machine.
man versus machine.
All right, let's kick it off.
For years, man tried to create artificial intelligence. On this segment, we find out, is AI smarter than King James?
Dude, the thing that I love about this is that, like, AI has actually had to improve itself to keep up with you. And It's funny because it shows every week that we're making it smarter, we're getting it better, and I love it. I honestly love it because I tried at first to try to train it, but it just will not train. And this is a really good one because, like, this goes to show you a lot of different things about what we've been talking about, a lot of our episodes, you know? And I think AI is kind of picking up on it.
This one here, this is an interesting one because this is just a generality.
Yes.
So when I look at this, because I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, because there's a lot of things you could do, but this is where you're looking. The basic rule to me is 8 foot.
Right.
And then when you go looking in closed closets and things like that, you get into different clearances where where you're looking at the sides and back of your closets and the planes and all of that.
We have an interesting thing there, because is that installed in a building that's occupied during luminaire operations? So, like, you have to look at that general statement and kind of say, does that rule out, like, a closed closet? Is that an occupancy? Is that, a habitable location? So I think that's what rules out a lot of things when it comes to this. This is actually full code text. I did copy 100% the code word for word, and Ryan Jackson, make sure I get sued because whatever. I mean, I know it's like the stupidest thing I ever heard that you can't use the code word for word, but this is actually word for word code text. The question and the answer.
What section is that?
410 something. Probably at the end of 410. It's right before. It was funny because let's just see what AI answers first, and then maybe.
And I'll go find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because AI got close, I think. I don't think they had the right section.
Let's just see what it says.
Yeah, so kids, if you're going to cheat on your homework, make sure you know your homework that you're cheating on.
That gets a little bigger.
I like the multiple choice, though, because AI gets so confused. I don't know why AI gets confused. I thought it was supposed to be super
It's
smart.
thinking.
Yeah, it gets really confused.
10 foot.
Oh.
410.10a.
That will be incorrect.
Okay, now I'll go over and see if I can find it.
So it's at the back of 410. So I don't know what the last article of 410, but it's in uses not permitted. So I want to say it's like 410,
It's not there.
127, or I can't remember the back half of 410.
That's decorative.
It's in uses not permitted.
That's lighting track. I'm at the back right now. That's systems more than 1,000 volts. Let's see. What's luminaire mounting? I'm looking.
Oh yeah, is it luminaire mounting? Not permitted.
I'm looking right now to see. So that's electric discharge lighting systems less than 1,000 volts. That's not going to be it.
So go to the last reference of 410. I don't know
That's
whatever.
flush or recessed luminaires.
Like whatever the last one of 410 is. I don't know what that is.
It isn't there, I get it, because that's where you. I'm in the 2026.
Yeah, go to 2023. Maybe really
Okay,
it's different. I didn't know it was different.
Let me go to 2023. No worries. I'll get set up here. Yeah, I was in the 2026, so he's not.
Yeah, so go to like the last reference of 410, whatever it is. I think it was what ChatGPT referenced was. I don't know. I don't know what ChatGPT referenced in whatever it said.
410.10a.
Yeah, that's not even close. Like it's like you go back to the end of 410, the last one, and then go back one. And I think
the last part deals with special provisions for germicidal irrigation.
Yeah, so go back one from that. I think its use is not permitted.
No, that's horticultural lighting equipment. And then you get into track lighting. That ain't it. Let me look over here in Article 410 and go to the parts.
I could have been
Special
wrong.
provision, decorative lighting.
I thought it said
That's
uses.
electric discharge.
I thought it said uses not permitted for install.
Special provisions for flush and recess luminaires. Disconnecting means for fluorescent and LEDs. Wiring of luminaires.
So if you go to if you go germicidal.
Let me go right here. Let me look right here and see. As I'm saying, I don't remember anything like that. Yeah, I'm not saying. Let me go to germicidal because that.
Yeah, so it was the one right before germicidal. So it's like the last one. It was like germicidal or whatever, because that's what actually ChatGPT referenced when I checked it out. And then it says use is not permitted, but it could have been. I thought it just said luminaires for buildings. I didn't think it said anything about anything other than that.
Okay, it's not in germicidal, so I just checked.
No, it's the one right before that. So germicidal is the last one in 410, right?
Yep.
Then go one before that where it says use is not permitted.
That's not it. That deals with horticultural lighting equipment.
All right, I was wrong. I screwed it up.
Let's see here.
That was the one I was trying to do. But...
No worries. Well, you've got locations not permitted.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
That's track lighting though, and it's 5 foot.
Okay, that was. I messed it up. Like I don't know what I did, but I went into uses not permitted, and it says where installation instructions say you can't do it. I think I was probably doing. It was the one right before germicidal one, so I was probably doing
Yeah,
horticultural grow equipment. You
yeah.
know,
Because I'm
but
looking at it, I can't find anything.
so whatever it was, like whatever hermicidal or whatever germicidal uh, equipment luminaires were, it was the one right before that was what I was trying to use. But it was like uses not permitted, and then it went through all the list of what's not permitted.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably messed it up. Like it doesn't matter because it just goes to show that like I put in full code text word for word, and you know AI can't find it, doesn't know what I'm talking about. You know, just is what it is. You know.
Well, when I was thinking about it, what I thought of right away was if you were over combustible, just as a minimum, because it's sort of like being over a tub. It's 8 foot,
True.
so that's why I was looking. Then you get into clothes closet, you get into the 6 foot and all that, and the shelving and all that. But I think 410.12 would be the right one to go with because it says lamp holders installed over highly combustible material shall be of the unswitched type unless an individual switch is provided for each luminaire. Lamp holders shall be located at least 8 foot above the floor, shall be located or guarded so the lamps cannot be readily removed or damaged. So
Yeah.
I think that might be the one to go with.
Yeah, I agree. But to my argument, that would be what's listed and labeled manufacturer provided. So that
Yeah,
was kind of like
we won't even argue with Chat GPT on that one.
yeah,
'Cause,
like so basically the answer was basically whatever the listing requirement is. But I was just trying to show like an argument where
yeah.
it's like, hey, the listing and labeling says don't put it lower. So that's a thing, like that could be what you have wrong in like when you're searching for it because it's a minimum. So it says cannot be installed lower.
Well, I think that is true when you're in certain locations.
Yeah. So it says cannot be installed
Yeah, it was
lower.
just a general blanket statement, but
Yeah.
that's in a certain location, I think.
True. Yeah, I'll have to like do some research. I probably screwed it up, but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to find something that can stump you, and I mean, it's impossible to stump the stall cups, but you know what I mean. Like, it's still really fun to try, and I will still keep trying every week to stump a stall cup. And I know I'm probably not gonna get away with it, but you always give your dad my happy hello every time you
Oh
see
yeah.
him, and that's really cool. All right, appreciate it, and like I said, we'll move on to what is it, Wall of Shame?
Wall of Shame, last one.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Oh, you will love this one, dude. This is gonna be one of your favorites, man. You're gonna just dig on this one.
The
Oh
hell?
man, like, dude, look at all that like rusted stuff that's just like rusting away. Like, it's crazy. Like, all these people. It was funny. Like, all the comments were like, "Oh man, I've been there. I know where that place is, But it's just like, wow, like that's a crazy amount of rust.
It looks like it's really, really bad up on the top left-hand side where the
Yeah,
wireway is. It looks like it's completely rusted away on the top up there.
yeah. It just totally made the whole cover just fall off.
Wow, that is
Like,
bad.
like somehow it stayed on. Like one screw like stayed on somehow, but like I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Like he must have just rolled up on that and been like, "Oh man, what's up?" But it's really cool.
Wow.
Thanks, Thomas, for posting that. It's pretty
Mm-mm-mm.
cool. Like when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh!" I mean, there's been some pretty bad rust that we've seen on the Wall of Shame, but that's pretty bad. So
That is very rusty. God dang.
pretty rough. But sorry about the little miscues on the Man vs. Machine. We had to have you go in and crush me on at least one. To show the chat TTP they didn't know what they were talking about.
We'll
But
let it happen this one time. Don't
yeah,
do it
it's
again.
all good.
I'm going to forgive you this one time.
Dude, my pay's already been docked a few times for me being a couple minutes late here and there. So I already got it, but like I say, we do this for total fun. Like I say, I always have we just try to show all the clown show, all the other code guys that's out there. King James, we're trying to make them good, trying to make them legit, we're trying to make them honest. Not gonna happen, but it is what it is. That's why we do this show, to just have fun. And if you guys have a problem with us calling out Mike Holt or Ryan Jackson or Thomas Dimitrovich or any of them, just let us know, man. Just be like, hey, I have a problem. Like, you were wrong on this. Like, cool, because guess what? King James was right. After all these years, we've been doing this 4 years. Nobody's ever called us out and said we're wrong on anything. So call us out, say we're wrong, and we'll post what they exactly said and show that you guys don't know what you're talking about. So,
Well, you can bet we research it before we do it.
Yeah.
It just isn't something we willy-nilly just throw out there for everybody to, get upset about. We call it like we see it. And, as a matter of fact, in the same, really, you do something awesome, we tell people, hey, you need to go check this out. It's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, 100%. Chad German, he's one of the awesome dudes out there, instructor from Utah. And hopefully we can touch base with you, Chad, and get you on as a guest. And he had a really good topic to do for my apprentices, to be like 3 steps ahead of your foreman. So I want to check that out, and I really want to see that, because my apprentice has been like maybe half a step ahead of me. And I'm like, yes, he's a half a step ahead of me. And then I have to tell him the other 3 steps. But that's pretty cool. Like,
baby steps.
Yeah, I like to see that like spark to where they're like, they want to be ahead of you, because like, why would I tell you what to do if you already know what's getting done, and you just do what needs to get done, and then I just slap stuff in, and I just put parts on you. That's what I always tell the apprentices. I'm like, dude, I just put parts on you. I put parts on you and you install it. You already know where the parts got to go, where they get installed. And so if I don't have the parts, that's on me. If you have the parts, then you install them.
That's right.
So that's pretty awesome. I really appreciate everyone joining so much. Thanks so much, Daniel. Dude, just one last one, dude. Daniel's comment. Dude, comment of the night, dude. That was so hilarious, man. So now the AI robot electricians are going to be glorified ditch diggers. So awesome. And you know what? The whole thing is,
he should be ashamed of himself. He ran Jeremy off.
He did. Dude, Weed Man just, like, dude, his tail tucked and he ran, man. He was done. He was done with that one, dude. And, the thing is, like, he's going to sit there and just say all this stuff, oh, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you show me proof. Well, guess what? As fast as you ran, that's all the proof we need right there.
That's right.
So, that's all we needed. But I appreciate you putting this together, James. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. A really awesome podcast. Thanks so much for everyone joining. And as always, remember, make every day an easy day. I'm out.
See everybody next week. Y'all have a good week.
Deuces.